Hey everyone! Today's video is gonna be a little bit different. There have been a lot of reaction videos because a lot of stuff has been happening in gaming, and I kinda wanna go a little bit back to the more chill stuff so that you can just watch it and relax, and most importantly that I can talk about some games. The Switch is 4 years old today, and I figured this is a great moment to do a Switch collection video. I want to do more collection videos, top 10 videos, because they give me the opportunity to talk about certain games we usually don't really talk about a lot, and that's the kind of videos that I really enjoy myself. Talk about games not a lot of people talk about. And I have some nice physical editions here for the Nintendo Switch. I'll also mention my digital ones at the end, but it's more about the physical stuff for now. There's a lot of videos I have planned. New series I want to launch. This week I was going to launch a new series, but yesterday I had the second session for my tattoo, which is now finished. I will upload that as a vlog because it is still somewhat gaming related, albeit slightly, but it still is nonetheless. And I'm just a little bit more limited in how I can move right now. Gaming videos, playing games and recording it is not the most comfortable right now. And this is a good way to do that. I also want to do a video response to my boy Clocked It, a good friend of mine. We're on the same podcast, great YouTuber, really original content. He always has an idea, and I think 1 out of 2 videos of his I want to make a video response to it. And I'm gonna do that. He made a video talking about his favorite games he never finished. He never finished Zelda, but he didn't name it because he hates the game. And I like that idea a lot actually. I already have a few games on my list and I really want to make a video for that too. But today we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch and my physical collection. I'm gonna start this video a little bit simple. I'm just gonna first name the 5 games I'm playing most on the Nintendo Switch right now. So I play a million games at the same time. I want something for every mood, for every time. I don't just play one game through to the end. Some people can do that. I just can't. I can't force myself, for example, to play an RPG when I don't feel like it. So I play a lot of games at the same time. The current games I'm playing the most on the Switch: Animal Crossing. I don't need to say much more about it. I have 1300 hours in the game. Half my life is wasted on that. But we're nearing a full year. Once my birthday hits next week, 2 weeks from now, it's the 12th. So that's like 1 week, yeah. Then, you know, Animal Crossing launched 10 days after that. So that will be a full year, and I'm pretty sure I will play the game a lot less then, unless major updates will come along. Which is good, because you need to play all the stuff. But absolutely love Animal Crossing New Horizons. Another game I'm playing a lot right now. I made a video about this a little while ago. My friend Skate's Finest, he sent me Paper Mario and the Origami King. I absolutely love this game. Something about the origami, I don't know if it's just the Nintendo brilliance, the way they portrayed it, but something about the origami is truly creepy in this game, and I love it so much. I love the atmosphere, the writing, like Robert said from Gaming With Me, another great friend, another podcast member. The writing is gold, it's perfect, it's such funny writing. You have one of my favorite scenes so far. At one point you're entering the forest, you're walking around trying to find stuff, and like all these dialogue pop up. They make fun of Mario. They're like, yeah, this guy has like this weird little hat, what is he doing, you know, he's a mustache, I don't trust a guy with a mustache, what's doing, you're hearing all this whispering around you, and it's so well done and it's just so funny. Absolutely love Paper Mario and the Origami King. 3 more games I'm playing right now a lot. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm still playing it. It's one of the greatest RPGs ever made, and I'm taking my time with it. I'm taking my time with it because that's a big flaw of mine, and it's gonna come back in my video response to Clocked It. A big flaw of mine is not wanting to leave a game's world, and I start dragging it out. It's simply something I have. I feel as long as I didn't finish the game, I'm still living in that world. That's kind of what I have with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I move forward way too slow. But I'm gonna fix that stuff this year. Still incredible game, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 2 more games I'm constantly playing right now is both Hyrule Warrior games. Age of Calamity, I finished it, I completed it. There's just a specific mission that ends up at the end of the game that I really still want to complete before I put this to rest. And it's the Superior Warriors game. Hyrule Warriors has so much content. I won't ever finish playing it. There's just so much to do. It's so much fun. It's incredible. Personally, I think it slightly looks better. It definitely plays better. It's just less of an addictive story, and I really play it more for the content and the combat, which is what I want in my Warriors games. So I'm currently playing this a lot still too. That doesn't mean that I'm not currently playing a lot of these games here right now, but these are like the ones I put in most at this moment. So, let's get down to the exciting stuff. I kind of arrange my games differently than most people. Some people do it by color. I actually used to do that, but I mean this is all red, so what am I going to do? A lot of people also do it by genre or alphabetical. I don't like the alphabetical method somehow. I don't know, you get weird stuff. For example, if you have, let's say, Wizards and Warriors. I know it's very old school, but Wizards and Warriors, you have Wizards and Warriors 1 and Wizards and Warriors 2. But Wizards and Warriors, you have Wizards and Warriors 1 and Wizards and Warriors. I'm saying it so often now in my head, I'm like, wait, am I saying the right title? But anyway, the second game isn't called Wizards and Warriors. The second game is called Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2. So I'm not gonna put Iron Sword with the I when it's clearly the second Wizards and Warriors. So I don't like alphabetical. I put my games kinda, approximately by genre. Like indies, second party stuff, first party, and it's kinda a little bit mixed up now, but that's usually what I go for. I prefer that. I'm gonna start off with Trine 4. Beautiful, gorgeous game. I love the Trine series. Trine 1 and 2 are beautiful. Trine 3 is still beautiful, but it adds more of a three-dimensional gameplay aspect to it, and I haven't played too much of it. I'm playing this one with my girlfriend currently, and I love it. I like the puzzle aspect of Trine 4, and it is leagues better than Trine 2. Trine 2 had janky gameplay elements that Trine 4 really takes care of, and I like the fact that there's a lot of ways to approach specific riddles. There's multiple ways to solve it, and the cutscenes in this are beautiful. If you like platformers, puzzle kind of platformers, or just straight up beautiful games, this is a must own for you no matter what. I think no matter what, Trine is a must own. Beautiful game. Next up, I like picking up physical copies of indie games. I only pick up about 1 out of every 5 games I really want to pick up. I have to make not only budgetary decisions, but like I said, I play too many games at the same time, and the more games I pick up, the less games I play. That is actually a problem I have. So I actually pick up a lot less games than I usually do to force myself to finish playing games I already own. One game I picked up very cheap, I think it was like 10 bucks when I picked it up, is 88 Heroes, which is a really fun mechanic where there were a lot of, I think they did some contests where you could earn a spot. You could create a character that would be in the game. So there's 88 different characters in this game. And you kind of just go through a level, side-scrolling, and you beat up characters. And there's 88 different characters. Every time you die in this game, you randomly switch to another of the 88 heroes. And there's really weird stuff in there. You have, for example, a character that can only climb, it can't attack. You have characters that can fly and shoot laser beams that are hyper overpowered, borderline invincible. So I like that aspect. There's such a variety in the characters. And one of my friends actually won a spot in this, and he designed one of the heroes in here. I forgot what he was called, Eyebrow or something like that. It's like a white dude. He throws punches, and the more people he kills, his punches become stronger. It's a fun game. If you ever see this for a reasonable price, you should definitely pick it up. It's so much fun. Next up, we have Flipping Death. I haven't tried this game yet. Like I said, I pick up a lot of shit. I'm not Mr. T, another friend, another guy from the podcast, who buys every game that ever releases. Like I said, you know, I need to spread my budget a little bit. But I do try to pick up great shit. And Robert of Gaming With Me, I mentioned him before, he picked this one up, he was raving about it, and when I saw this trailer first, I really wanted to pick up Flipping Death. It seems like a lot of fun, I just haven't started it yet. Next up, a game I did already finish and complete, and I had to own this physical. It's a beautiful game, it's a beautiful indie game. It's Yonder, Cloudcatcher Chronicles? In Cloudcatcher Chronicles. It is a beautiful game. It's a little bit farming simulator like, and then you're kind of in an open world area, not massive, but it's an open world area, and you walk around and you discover, and you can get animals for your farms, and you defeat some enemies and that kind of stuff. It's very cool. It's not a very long game, but I spent a decent amount of time in this game before I finished it, and like, it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful game. Next up, Overcooked II. I like the Overcooked franchise. I think the Overcooked games are some of the most perfect couch co-op games you can have. Basically, you play at the same time, you're in a kitchen, and you have to prepare a recipe, but in some levels the kitchen is separated. So let's say you're making a burger, you're toasting the buns, but the other person has to make the meat, and then you put the buns in the middle, the person put the meat, in that time you make the salad, and there's like these little button things involved, like you press A to mix the salad or something, the other person has to time slicing for the tomato, something like that, and you make it together. And it's such an original idea, and it just works perfectly. It just works perfectly, but it is perfect couch co-op stuff. Overcooked 1 was a little bit jank, but Overcooked 2 really is a perfect couch co-op game. If you like couch co-op, this is a must-own. Next up we have Poya, and I've mentioned this sometimes. I think it is a better platformer than Super Mario Odyssey. There is so much they took from Super Mario 64 and they put in this game, right down to the triple jump. It's not the best looking indie game, but it is very much fun and addictive. And if you enjoy games like Super Mario 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, this is a game you will really enjoy. Human Fall Flat. This was the very first super rare, because you have limited run and super rare. I got this one via super rare. I always had this on my Steam wishlist. I never played it yet. I watched the trailer like once. I was like, yeah, I want to pick that up one day. And when super rare started doing their thing, this is the first super rare game they released. I was like, you know what, I'll pick that up. And I haven't played it since, but super rare does a really cool thing. You get like trading cards with it, stickers, like manual, you get all this stuff with it. I just kind of picked it up to own it, really. This is really the collector in me. Next up, there's 2 limited run games. And I bought these not because I wanted, the collector in me. These are 2 of the best indie games ever released. And I honestly mean this. First up, we have Flinthook. Flinthook also comes with like trading card, a super thick colored manual, reversible cover. It comes with so much stuff. Honestly, limited run. You pay like 30 bucks for these. Shipping sometimes is a bit much, it sucks, but you get so much for it. And mostly you get incredible indie games. Flinthook is a platformer. It's in the vein of Bionic Commando. Bionic Commando is my all-time favorite NES game. I like games where you swing. You have Bionic Commando Rearmed, all that stuff. You have Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. There's a really cool indie game coming out. It's called Web, where you play with a jumping spider. I like the swinging mechanics, and Flinthook not only has the swinging mechanics, it mixes them with time powers, time concept. You can reverse time, slow down time, and it's done so well. It's an incredible indie game that I would highly recommend anybody to pick up. I chose some screenshots, but the bag, I reversed the cover, so the bag isn't as nice because I just like this front cover better. Another indie, and I borderline consider this the best indie game ever made. It has incredible music, an incredible soundtrack, really good voice acting. It's a little bit on the furry side, which is not always my thing, but it just looks badass. I mean, just look at this cover. This is Dust in Elysian Tale.
You, Dust, will turn the tide.
Well, no pressure or anything.
Be tested, Dust. An army of thousands stands before us, and they've never been defeated.
Well, let's not keep them waiting.
Don't you remember your duty? Don't you remember your friends?
I remember everything. And it changes nothing!
Dust and Elysian Tale is one of my all-time favorite, top 3 favorite, if not the #1 best indie game ever made. Like I said, it's a combination of everything. It has an incredible soundtrack by Hyperduck Soundworks. It has incredible voice acting. I really love, especially the main character, Dust. Incredible voice acting. Fidget, your little helper. Also, I just love the voice acting of every single character is so good. But what blows it away is the gameplay. This is the type of game I really like. That Sakuna of Rise and Ruin on the PlayStation 4, well, it's on multiple consoles, but it also has that. It's a type of gameplay where it's a 2D side-scroller, but the combat is so evolved that if you time your combos right and select the correct move, you can be in the air most of the time doing air battles before you land again. And I love that shit. It's super addictive. Very cool particle effects and everything. Dust and Elysian Tale. If you like indie games, it's a must own. It is my favorite indie game. Next up, Urban Trial Playgrounds. I like this kind of game, you know, the 2D motor jumping kind of game, but I only picked it up because it was on sale once for a few bucks. There's really no more to say about that. Then we have Atelier Lydie and Suelle. Exactly the same reason. I picked it up together with Urban Style Playground and the next 2 games actually. So, Urban Style Playgrounds. Then there's Atelier Lydie and Suelle. I didn't even play this yet. I picked it up because it was a few bucks. I don't know much else about it. Then we have All-Star Fruit Racing, which I picked up at the same time again. Also a few bucks. I think these 4 games were like 10 bucks in total, something like that. It was a crazy deal, and I've never seen it again. And I'm still so mad at myself that the 4th game, I didn't pick up a second copy when they still had it, so I could like give it away. But then we have like All-Star Fruit Racing, which is a really fun, well-developed kart racing type game. The characters are not like the greatest, but the game visually looks incredible. The tracks are really fun. They're kind of like looping around sometimes, and the vehicles are really fun to control. So if you like kart racers, it's a must own. And the 4th game I picked up in that same sale, and I'm so mad, like I said, that I didn't pick up a second copy because they still had 2. This one was, these 3 were like 10 bucks, this one like together, this one was 7 bucks I think by itself. And that's Victor Vran, the Overkill edition, with like the Motorhead Through the Ages DLC on it. This is like a Diablo-esque kind of game. It looks incredible. I haven't played enough of it yet, like I said, too much to play. But I'm so salty I didn't pick up a second copy. But this is definitely a really cool game. If you like the Diablo-esque kind of games, this is a must own. It is a badass game. Incredible soundtrack also. Next up, Flashback. Very cool game. I have the collector's edition, I don't have the other stuff. This was given to me by a friend at some point. And it's a remake or just a port. I mean, basically, of the original game on the, well, I played it on the Super Nintendo. I also have the Mega Drive version. And I used to like these kind of games. You don't see it a lot anymore. Like the Prince of Persia, Flashback, Another World, these like super, I mean, not Prince of Persia, but these super old school sci-fi adventures, alien planet stuff, with like all this weird ass concept, very funky, cool, like pixel PowerPoint Flash cutscenes. Like, I don't know, they always make these kinds of games. Very cool game. Then we have, gonna move up the, it's gonna get bigger. Okay, that's what she said. Super Bomberman. Oh, I picked this up at launch. I was so glad to see Bomberman return. Konami to put effort on the Switch. I think it's the only game they released so far, but still. And then Bomberman R just blew up and they ported it and they started adding all these characters. I just wish it was more than it is. I have so much fun with this game. I really enjoyed it. It's a great Bomberman. But back in the Super days, Bomberman already was a lot more than this is, and that kind of bummed me out, and that is why I haven't played it as much as I would have liked. I finished it, you know, I played online and all that kind of stuff, but I still believe the game could have been more. Next up, Ultra Street Fighter II, the final chapters. I made a video about my history with Street Fighter 2. I will link it in this video. I love Street Fighter 2. Is it the second most milked game after Final Fantasy VII? Yes, it is. But this game specifically is only Street Fighter 2 with the extra challengers added to it. And I never was able to play with those as a kid. Plus, it added the thing that the compilation game doesn't have, where you could have like an HD filter and everything became hand-drawn, which is the main reason why I wanted it. It kept everything intact. You could even choose the old sound effects and have it in HD, because this is something I used to play with my brothers all the time, and I had to own this when it came out. Next up, a game that, whether people like it or not, Bethesda truly supports the Switch since day one. And the Elder Scrolls, my cat busted up my copy. At one point my games fell because my cats were climbing on it because I had them weirdly displayed. Kinda sucks, so it's very busted up unfortunately over here because of cat nails. But either way, I have Skyrim on the PC. I have enough hours in it. I'm still playing it on the PC. If I pick it up now, I'm still gonna play it on the PC because that's where half my life literally went into. But I still wanted to pick this up, not only to support Bethesda, but I did want to own Skyrim HD. This is the remastered version, and people can say what they want. This is not an old-ass game. This only came out a few months after the HD version came out on other consoles. And it's a great game. Skyrim is a great game. If you like fantasy adventure game, if you like stuff like Lord of the Rings, those fantasy magical adventures, then Skyrim really is a game you should try out if you never tried it before. The HD remake, it looks incredible on the Switch. It really looks incredible. Then we have a trilogy, if you want to call it like that. This is I think it's called Tokyo Game Factory. I think they're all from Tokyo Game Factory if I remember it correctly. Is it Tokyo Game Factory? RPG Factory? I don't know. Anyway. Square has not been doing good stuff with Final Fantasy. I do not think they've been doing good stuff with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy became a westernized mess. But Square still makes the old school perfect RPGs that they used to call Final Fantasy, and now they just call them other stuff. They call them Am Satsuna, Oninaki, or Lost Sphere. These three RPGs are absolutely perfect. I like the concept of Lost Sphere and the visuals of it. It's a feast for the eyes, where the world is disappearing, you're trying to uncover the world, those effects, the combat system, it's very cool. Same goes for Am Satsuna. Am Satsuna is similar to Lost Sphere, but it's more story heavy. You get more attached to the characters. And visually it is definitely an upgrade, and it looks incredible. This is in Japanese because this game never got a physical release outside of Japan, but you can put the game in English. Mr. T did the same thing as I did actually. I saw it from Mr. T, he did it. I was like, yo shit, I want that. I paid 20 bucks for this, including shipping from Japan. Limited run. There's no need to have to pay 20 bucks shipping on a 30 bucks game. I'm just saying, you know. But Am Satsuna is an incredible game. And then the third one, I don't know why I consider this a trilogy. I really thought all three were Tokyo RPG Factory, but I don't see the logo on this one somehow. But like I said, Oninaki. This one, you could only get it physical if you ordered it from the Square Enix official website. They've done it before with the special edition for Theatrhythm, I think, back on the 3DS days. Oninaki is less turn-based than the other two. It is more action RPG. You're more actively fighting, which is something I prefer. And this game looks really good. I feel this game gets the best of both Lost Sphere and Am Satsuna. It has incredible visuals like Am Satsuna, you get attached to these characters, and the creative story from Lost Sphere is in here. Oninaki is a really beautiful game. We are over the halfway point already, but we're going to continue with Square a little bit. Octopus Traveler. Again, I have the limited edition box set that was like a book and you could fold it open and it had like a pop-up stuff, several pop-up pages. It came with quite a lot of goodies and stuff. And Octopus Traveler is a revolution in gaming. And I'm so happy we're gonna get Project Triangle on the Switch. I'm pretty sure it won't stay exclusive, but still, we're getting it. Which is the same vein of this. They call it 2D HD, and I love that style so much. It is beautiful 3D pixel art, but then attacks are actual like super HD Unreal 4 particle effects, and it blends so well together, so well. The Octopus Traveler has 8 main characters, and you follow 8 paths, their stories that kinda merge together in a way. Incredible game, gorgeous game. This is, like I said, more old school open world RPG, like if you want to call it that, whereas Project Triangle, the new one, is more tactics based. Next up, if you like turn-based RPGs, this is a must-own. I've said it a few times in this list, must-own. Every game is must-own in their own rights. Battle Chasers. I'm not gonna lie, I am a huge Joe Matt fan. Joe Matt, with back in the day Vigil, I guess, created Darksiders. Darksiders is the greatest franchise ever. And Darksiders 2 is the greatest game ever. And Joe Matt, something that makes Darksiders is the unique art style, the unique character design, the world design. And all of that, you will find it in Battle Chasers. Battle Chasers was Joe Matt's comic. I think the comic he did himself after he worked for Marvel and DC. I think he did Deadpool, Wolverine, that kind of stuff. And he did also Battle Chasers, his own thing. And it is a really, you don't need to know, I don't know the comics, I never read the comics of Battle Chasers. And this game is really good. It has such great turn-based combat. It is very old school. It's a gorgeous game. The story will get you hooked. There's something also about the animation. It really looks, it kind of feels like Darksiders without actually being that, because it's an old school RPG. Very cool. Battle Chasers is one I definitely recommend people picking up. It isn't even that expensive anymore these days. So, the pile of games we've had is already starting to outweigh the screen over here. We're almost done. Let's continue a little bit. Talking about Darksiders, Darksiders 1, War Mastered. This was a gift from me from my friend Skate, and I really wanted to own this, and he was like, oh, I'll ship it to you, I feel you should have this. This runs buttery smooth. It is unlike the Definitive Edition, which I think is a bad remaster, because Definitive Edition for Darksiders 2, it removes the vibrance of the colors. It's really strange. It tries to change the lighting and the shadows, but it doesn't work for it. War Mastered is a perfect remaster. It looks incredible, it runs incredible, and what can I say? It's Darksiders. If you ever thought, man, I wish Zelda was a little bit darker, buy this game. It is one of the greatest franchises ever made. Darksiders, the story, the lore with the Riders of the Apocalypse, the way everything connects together, the characters, the dialogue, the voice acting, the music, holy shit, like Samuel is one of my greatest villains ever, it's one of my favorite villains ever. War is a character, it's such a badass video game. Darksiders is a must own as a gamer, must own.
I trust that she suffered.
Not nearly enough.
Beautiful. The second guardian, the Griever, moves in tunnels beneath this place. But first there is an obstacle that must be removed. Ulthane, one of the old ones.
You didn't mention that before.
Changing the deal already, Samael.
Be silent, filth. My business is with the horseman. Ulthane is no ally of the Destroyer. But you won't find the Griever without confronting the Black Hammer. And that will require strength you don't possess.
Samael.
Tell him, Watcher, how you stifle the Horseman's true power in order to keep him on the Council's leash. War. Destroy this parasite.
You so much as blink at me, and the Council will end you, both of you. I'm protected.
Not in here. You are War, rider of the Red Horse. Not some puppet on this pathetic creature's strings.
War, I will make you suffer.
Focus your anger. A great rage stirs within you, clawing to get out. You must release it, or a puppet you remain. You are reborn!
Next up, we're gonna go into the bit more funky stuff now. Why is this one all the way over? This one shouldn't be here. You should be here. Okay. Next up we have Fate Extella, the Umbral Star. I like Warriors games. I like anime. Fate Extella is a Warriors anime game. It is not the best Warriors game. It segments the world in such a cheap way that, and I don't know why they do it. It's not an aesthetics choice. I think it's a cheapening out choice. But it's a Warriors game in the Fate. I like the Fate universe. Not to talk too much about manga, but Fate is about people who connect with, I forgot the names because it's been way too long. Does it say it on here? It probably doesn't say it on here. It doesn't say it on there. But it's people who bond with specific fighters, and the fighters in their past life used to be famous people or icons. One fighter, for example, represents the incarnation of King Arthur. Another one of Joan of Arc. Another one of Gilles de Rais, the serial killer. It's really cool. And this kind of takes that concept and puts a Warriors spin on it. It's not the best Warriors game, but as a Warriors fan, I just wanted to own it. And I was kind of hoping to play with certain Fate characters, and that went a bit janky, but whatever. Next up, like I said, I'm a Warriors fan. Fire Emblem Warriors. Beautiful game. I actually bought DLC for this. I bought one character, Linda, because it's my favorite Fire Emblem character and I wanted to be able to play as her. And she's amazing, and I like all the moves in this. I like the combat. I started this. I think I got pretty far, but then I just started playing something else because I think something big came out. Oh, I think it released like at the same time as Mario Odyssey. Like, I think they were released a week apart from each other. So obviously I started playing Odyssey, and I just haven't touched it a lot since, but I'm definitely still gonna back into that. Like I said, it's an incredible game. Fire Emblem Warriors is really good, and I think these days it's pretty cheap. I have the special edition for this with like the box, and I think came with a booklet and some cards and a CD, I think. Then we have an incredible game. And something I really like that Nintendo is doing, and they need to do it more when they kinda source out their IP. When Ubisoft finally had an actual good E3 a few years ago, and they revealed Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. A turn-based RPG with kind of a unique spin on it, and it's incredible. This feels like you're actually playing an animation. The way the characters move, the way they react, it's funny, it's really good combat. I'm not even done with this game yet. Again, that's always my problem when more stuff comes out, which is why I said I want to buy less games so I can play more. Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle is super addictive, great game, it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy the combat of this. It has a really unique vibe to it, and I just really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and it's actually funny too. Next up, Astral Chain. I've said this before, I feel at some point, like I said, Skate's Finest, he's like my official sponsor for this channel. A lot of people have somebody like that, and he's that for me. He's actually the one who bought me Astral Chain, and I started playing this, and I love it. They did some stuff with the story that I really enjoyed. I'm not done with it yet, which is like the thread in all my stuff basically. It looks gorgeous. I love the universe of the game. Something about the fighting just doesn't really work for me. there's something about controlling the other character you're with and then having to capture. So I don't know. I don't enjoy that combat mechanic too much. But still, the story is incredible. The universe is beautiful. And I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I'm definitely still going to continue that as well. Next up, Splatoon 2. What else do I need to say? It's exactly Splatoon 1 with different weapons. Which is fun, but I needed a break from Splatoon, which is why I'm quite happy Splatoon 3 is only coming out like next year. I want them to take their time with that game. Next up, Kirby Star Allies. The game that plays itself. Beautiful looking game. It would be a lot more fun if, you know, I wouldn't just be walking forward and I'm like, oh, let me get that power up of that enemy. Oh, too late, the CPU already killed him. Like, you got like Kirby and then 3 CPU, and the 3 CPU, they're like running forward, destroying everything in your path. It's like, you don't play this. It plays itself and it has potential. I'm not gonna lie. I would not consider this a good game because, like I said, it plays itself. It doesn't need that gimmick. Kirby doesn't always need a gimmick. It doesn't need friends or friends in another game or friends in that other game or like robots and shit. Give us a good Kirby. It's not that hard. Like I said, beautiful game, but I'm not having fun when I'm playing this because I don't feel like I'm actually the one playing it. Next up, Super Mario Maker 2. Long overdue updates from the original Super Mario Maker 1 when it comes to the stuff you can use, the modes, they added some stuff to it. I feel there was so much more potential. We never got the Super Mario Land, which I wanted. We never got Yoshi's Island, which I wanted. Those are skins, these games you just could have. And I thought they were gonna come in future updates, but Nintendo just stopped updating it, and I don't know why. The online multiplayer is janky as hell. I love this game. I have so much fun with this game. I have like 180 hours in it, I think, something like that. It's a beautiful game. I have so much fun with it, but it could have been way more than it is. And I do hope we get a Mario Maker 3 that has those things I was missing, considering Nintendo doesn't really update it anymore. I actually make Super Mario 2 videos. There's another one coming out. I enjoy playing this. I enjoy watching people play it. It's a perfect game. It just could have been more. Next up, Super Mario Odyssey. No matter my complaints for this game, it is so much fun. And it is absolutely beautiful. I love it. The music is great. It looks gorgeous. The variety in levels is insane. But once I finish this game, I just never touched it anymore because there's no real challenge to it, and I do need some challenge. I can pick up any Super Mario game, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and play these levels and feel like I'm conquering challenging obstacles. And Mario Odyssey just does not have that for me personally. It's too much walking around looking for moons behind bushes, and like I said, it's a great game, but I never touched it again after I finished it. We're almost done. There's 5 games left. 5 games left. Yoshi's Crafted World, 4 games left. I'm sorry, this is a terrible game. What were they thinking? Yoshi's Crafted World is Yoshi's Story 2. It is flat as fuck. I don't understand why. You can make a game look beautiful. That doesn't help me. It's like Kirby Star Allies. It looks beautiful, but I'm walking from left to right in this game, in a level, and that's what you're doing. Oh no, wait. That's not what you're doing. You're walking left to right in the same level 5 times in a goddamn row. I'm sorry, but that to me makes it a bad game. I never finished this one yet because it's boring. You can make a game look as beautiful as it is. If it's not interesting to play, I don't feel like playing it. I want to finish it at some point, but at this point it's more like, let me just power through so that I have it over with, you know. I'm sorry, it's not a good game. And that hurts, because Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U is one of the greatest platformers ever made. Maybe it's my fault for assuming this had that to live up to, but I mean, when they didn't even hire back the original composer, from Woolly World's music is perfect. Such a beautiful soundtrack. Every level has a unique soundtrack. It's great. I hope you enjoy the music in the first level because you will be hearing it in every single level. No. Next up, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. My girlfriend got me this one, and it's an incredible game, and I have so much fun with it, and it is the best Mario Kart game there is. I understand why they ported it to the Switch in the beginning. It sold an obscene amount. It shouldn't have, but I mean, I'm holding a copy myself, so who am I to say anything? And it's fun, it's gorgeous, it still holds up to freaking PS5 graphics. It really does, it looks that good. And they added a whole new battle mode when they ported this over. All the DLC came in with free, they added new characters to it. And I have quite an amount of hours in this one too. I love it. But I'm ready for Mario Kart 9. And I still believe it's gonna come to the Switch. Or the Switch Pro. Luigi's Mansion 3. What else can I say? This is the perfect Luigi's Mansion game. It has everything I liked from Luigi's Mansion 1 and nothing from the garbage of Luigi's Mansion 2. I don't want to hear people say Luigi's Mansion 2 is better than 1. No! Maybe you thought Luigi's Mansion 1 was a tech demo. I never thought that. I think it's an incredible game. But oh, Luigi's Mansion 2 is better. Yeah, okay, sure. You go ahead and play your segmented mission thing. Luigi's Mansion 2, you can add 3 mansions, but if it's divided in chapters and loading, no. You're not walking around. And anyway, Luigi's Mansion 3 is gorgeous. It's such a beautiful looking game. One of the best looking games on the Switch. The lighting, the shadows, the animations, the intro animation, it feels like you're watching a Pixar movie. It's so good. I like the way the characters interacted with each other. I like discovering the hotel. I like the variety in level design. The puzzles, the puzzle on the movie set is one of the greatest puzzles I've ever seen in my life. Because once you figure out the trick, your mind is so blown, you just cannot believe you figured it out. Absolutely incredible game, Luigi's Mansion 3. 2 left to go. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. I like remakes. I like it when I take old games from old days that deserve a new coat of paint and they completely rebuild it from the ground up, staying as faithful to the original as they can. I like this art style. It looks like you're playing a diorama, like shit is made out of clay and everything. It has a weird shine on this, but it is still the exact same Link's Awakening, brick for brick. And then they just added a few things like the dungeon design thing, you know, the quality of life controls. It is so much fun. I missed it, old school Zelda. And Link's Awakening really gave me that old school Zelda vibe. It's such a lovely game. That sounds so weird, but that's just what it is. When the relationship between Link and Marin, when you're solving the mystery, the characters, there's so much life in this game. And the final one I have here, Breath of the Wild, which is one of the greatest Zelda games ever made, which is one of the greatest games ever made. And the only reason I don't put this above some other Zeldas, this is my second favorite Zelda, but I think the shrines in this game are some of the greatest things ever made in video game history. When it comes to atmosphere, when it comes to puzzle solving, I like the way you can, how free you are in Breath of the Wild, the way you can traverse the game, but no matter what some other people might think, for me, a Zelda game requires dungeons. You can create the most filled, incredible world to explore, and I never had no fun with this game. It was always fun. It was always fun. I always loved sometimes just turn the game on to just walk around. It's perfect for that. But I can't have just that. The final castle in this game is so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. It's so incredible. Exploring that, it only highlights my problem, the fact that I want dungeons in this game. And the Divine Beasts aren't dungeons. The Divine Beasts are really annoying. They're annoying puzzles. They're ugly in design. They're not fun to explore. They have weird gimmicks that don't work. I'm sorry, I just don't like that aspect. Other than that, like that's a perfect game, but because there's something I so dislike about it, I can't put it above my favorite Zelda game. It's just, I want those dungeons. And I'm expecting, and I'm hoping, that Breath of the Wild 2 might become my new all-time favorite Zelda. Because what I'm expecting is Breath of the Wild, that yearning for exploration, maybe in a different world, a different land. If you have the same land, it's gonna have another zone to another land to explore. And it will have dungeons. I feel what they're doing is they're reviving an old evil, and in order to destroy it, maybe you have to do like Castlevania, gather body parts that he protected in dungeons. I need dungeons. I need underwater exploration. I need caves. I don't count one shrine in a hollow, a cave. No, exploration. If you make a game about exploration, you cannot limit exploration. As perfect as the game is, the negatives to me just irk me too much to actually consider it the greatest Zelda ever made. But a lot of people consider it the best Zelda ever made, rightfully so. Digital games. I have quite a few digital games. I don't know how I can split this between what I own and what is save data. I'll just quickly run through the digital games because it's not as interesting to show. So digitally I have Rocket League, Super Smash Bros, which I won in a bet. We have, so you have to like dig through this kinda. Ukulele, the original one. Starlink, Battle for Atlas, another game given to me by Skate's Finest. Thank you very much. I love Starlink. I have a lot of fun with it. I recently started playing it a lot more. I'm finally really getting deep into it. And the space travel in Starlink is just one of my favorite things in gaming. It is so well done. I love the space traveling in Starlink. We have Golf Story, an incredible indie game. It's kind of old school pixelated RPG, but then with golf, it has so much incredible humor in it. We have A Knight's Quest, which I consider to be a really good indie Zelda clone. It has dungeons, it has weapons, it has graphics. It looks really good for what it's supposed to be. We have Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, Alwa's Awakening. It's a very old school 8-bit indie style game. Asphalt 9 Legends, I downloaded it because I've played that way more than I should have. Faye.
Through the high pines and the whispers of the forest, it was said when the dangers came, a new cry could be heard, the song of a cub. Born to sing in full voice, a song of all alike, a song to break the silence, to heal the forest of life, to take the shadows, to be cunning and sly, to stop the evil, the silent ones, and make the world a home again.
That's how the story goes. The story of the beast with those 4 dirty paws.
Incredible indie game, Faye. It has an amazing style. Just look at that thumbnail for Faye already. Very cool. We have My Friend Pedro, which is an incredibly addictive shooter. Matrix style, slow motion, gun kata stuff. Oh, beautiful. My Friend Pedro is just absolute art. Then we have Bomb Chicken, really cool indie game as well, very addictive. I kind of got stuck in a part and I just can't seem to get past it. I don't know if it's me, but that's kind of weird. We have Kamiko, which is very basic indie game, like bottom line kind of, budget kind of stuff, but it is very fun though. We have Super Mario Bros. 35th for another week maybe. That's a demo, that's a demo, that's a demo. Aldred Knight, which I picked up because it was $2 and with my Nintendo points I could pick it up for free, and that's kind of what it's worth. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Rock'n'Roll Off-Road Racing DX, because I used to love Ivan Ironman Stewart's off-road on the original NES, so I wanted to pick this up and it plays the same. I have fun with it. We have Pon Pon, which is just as weird as it sounds. It has a very unique style, and it's a very strange game. I don't even know how to explain it. Pokemon Quest, I don't even know why that's still on here. Titles 99, I don't even know why that's still on here. The Gardens Between is an incredible puzzle game with a really strange mechanic of rewinding time. But when you rewind time, not everything is affected by it. It's very peculiar. And if you like puzzle games, The Gardens Between, I mean, is definitely worth picking up. That's a demo. Mulaka, which is in the vein of A Knight's Quest. It's just more old school GameCube combat. I don't know how else to explain it. In a very cool, interesting cubic style. That's a demo. Forgotten Anne by Square Enix, which is kind of old school point and click if you want to put it in a specific way, with an incredible Ghibli meets Disney meets Square storyline. And that's really what makes these kind of games, and Forgotten Anne really gives you that. Fallout Shelter, I don't even know what that's still on here. Brawlout, which I once bought because I wanted to try it, and it's not as good as I want it to be. It's basically like Brawl with other characters, but I have a feeling it's made by Project M people. I don't know, that game could have been a lot better than it was. That's a demo, that's a demo. That's a demo. The Way Remastered, which I bought because I had a few points. Nintendo points, I think. And The Way Remastered is one of the games like I mentioned before. I think it's a remaster actually of one of those old games. A la... I keep wanting to say Castlevania. Prince of Persia, Another World, Flashback, those kinds of games. I haven't even tried it yet. I bought it because I could. We have, that's a demo, those are my save data. I think that was the last stuff, yeah. That's it. That's my Switch collection. It's not the biggest collection. Some people have a lot more. Then again, some people also have a lot less. And I'm definitely quite happy with what I was able to amass in the 4 years the Switch was here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoy video games. I think the Switch is an incredible console. There's still a lot more Switch games that I plan on picking up, and there's definitely a lot more Switch games on this pile that I plan on finishing. Let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy this video? Share your thoughts with some of these games with me. Did I say something that offended you? Did I say something you agree with? Do you have more games? Is this a puny collection for you? Is this too much money for you? Do I have too many games? Let me know, share it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It might not do a lot for you, it does a lot for me. I'm trying to break free of this pit. YouTube threw my channel in, and I think the gaming content is really helping me do that. I'm doing a lot more stuff these days. Collection videos, top 10 videos, I do gameplay videos, I do reaction videos. You definitely will find a lot of game related stuff on my channel that you might enjoy in the future and not just today. Thank you guys for watching. All my links to social media and the video description. And as always, stay real.